So we are talking about the importance of studying history. My friend will provide you a short introduction about the importance of studying history.
Thank you, Aziz. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this humble presentation about the medieval. Welcome to this humble presentation about the medieval English. We owe so many thanks to the Professor Bouyahi that he gave us this opportunity to do this presentation. Such as this presentation enable us to develop ourselves, especially in terms of speaking. Do you get my point? Such as this presentation enable us to develop ourselves, especially of speaking. So, take initiative. Don't worry about making mistakes, because all of us are making mistakes. The writers' books themselves are making mistakes. So take initiative and realize that by doing so, you will be able to speak automatically. Right?
Right.
Before delivering this presentation, I have something to say. Actually, when I was preparing this presentation, my friend has asked me, say it to me. I'm afraid I will be so confused. Oh, come on, Aziz, it's just a presentation. You don't worry about this issue. But I realized that he was right, and I was wrong. You know why? Because I am trembling right now.
Yes, I'm trembling.
All of you. Are you trembling yet? Okay, let's move to our introduction. Have you ever thought, why do we need to study history? Approaching to the question of what is history is one of the strong issues that has bothered me for a long time. I have been raising the question to myself, what is history? What is the definition of history? And why do we need to study history? In history, if you notice that we study human experiences, which means that we learn from history. So the idea that I want to share is that we learn from history. I will give you an example. We have learned from Revolution, American Revolution. We have learned from French Revolution. We have learned from the mistakes that took place during the First World War. And also, we have learned from the Second World War. So, the idea that I want to share with my friend is we learn from history, right? You get my point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not like what's happening in Arab world, in Arab Revolution, when they say dégage to their leaders without analyzing, without interpreting to the facts that are happening right now. If you see Egypt, for example, there is no stability. There is no stability. There is a conflict between Muslim brothers and other teams. And if you see Syria, there is a hell. Actually, there is a hell in Syria. The same thing happening in Libya. Okay. What we have learned from human experience. We study history for many reasons. First of all, a complete knowledge of history helps us to define who we are. So we study history to know ourselves, right? We study history to know ourselves, to know who we are. it is impossible to talk about present and predicate the future without referring to what? To history. You can never, ever talk about the present and predicate the future without referring to what? To our ancestors, to our past. Previous experiences of our ancestors are permanent important if it is to shape promising future. That is to say that knowing all major mistakes made by our ancestors helps us shape a solid ground of the future. If you remember, let's move to another thing. If you remember, in this one, what we study? We study Christian mythology. It means that you can never, ever study any languages without its background. So, what we are going to do this semester is studying history. Is studying the historical facts about UK and about US. So,